it's the people will be say the massacre for just Plateau State. Remember, say this massacre happened as far back as Sunday. Today now, na Friday, Good Friday, according to the Christian calendar. And that attack happened on Palm Sunday, will be last Sunday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, today, Friday, 5 days. Now you take our president to go visit people will be say lost their loved ones because of this attack. But and everybody was excited that the president eventually shifting schedule and other things say go. But we were shocked and people were surprised that not only that the president even visited, he no even reach inside Plateau State. He stopped at the airport. So people come they say, waiting happen for your water. Don't they repeat himself again because the president stopped at the airport. And he even had to tell them that look, even the airport gonna no get lights. And because of say the airport no get lights, he will get to fly back in the next 10 minutes. He will leave them back. So that is to say that the president particularly spent about 10, 15, or 30 minutes approximately in Plateau State to commiserate with people who be say die. So they get to bring all the victims and come airports to come meet the president. Well, as if that one not there enough, other things and they shall be busy happen because inside that place where you be say it can't commiserate with people. Now they ask Jonah Jang, say, assure me 2027, how far? How I will use Win Plateau State. And Jonah Jang, the assurer. Now people say, what manner of insensitivity is it now? Which some people they talk. But however, we did here to bring you all the news. Welcome to Updates with Precious. Now here they bring you updates of all the matter that we share like for inside our country. Many in a precious in here, and it always suits me to bring on these and other updates and things that happen for inside the country. Well, I suppose bring on a quick update before now, but unfortunately I know feed drum. So immediately I finish with Dr. Katch, I will go bring on that 30 minutes quick update where it did very loaded with all the things that really happen for inside the country. But make it not be like say for loss, make I just take on through some of the headlines of things, just a few of the things that will basically happen from Nigeria. As Nigerians, they say you should be remanded in psychiatric facility if you understand Nigeria. Okay, that's what some Nigerians they talk as they blast Governor Muswang Tinubu and President Tinubu for addressing Plateau attack victims from armored tank and airport. Remember, say their governor are from armored tank, now say he addressed them. Meanwhile, President Tinubu addressed the victims and for inside airport, as I tell you, and they tell them say, oh, because they lights no day, now waiting make it, they not get light for airport. In fact, this one, you don't consider. They say, excuse me, sir. Not be you always say if you don't give us lights for the first 4 years, make we vote you out or make we not vote for you again. So what's going to happen now, eh? What's going on? By the way, ADC don't they respond to the one where they feel like saying a direct attack or attempt by INEC to cripple the political party. As BC to maybe Kachuku don't hold press conference, they talk say David Mark then come buy the party, but unfortunately their buying was not buyable, and all of those drama where basically happened. Well, I beg, I don't plan to waste Dr. Catch time too much. So they make a bring her come inside the studio. So joining us inside the studio now, Dr. Catch. Dr. Catch, good evening and thank you so much for joining us. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
Dr. Catch, another attack again in Plateau State. This time at the heart of Jos, Plateau State, where it is very close to the University of gunmen just come, open fire, begin kill people anyhow, indiscriminately. And one of the things where they scary past when inside the attack, na say the people them, people where they attack, they talk say army patrol van, two van who they see them. They say the van can't help them, but the van was actually assisting the terrorists. Nigerian army don't talk say alive, but they will just talk saying alive without actually investigating their officers. What's in they go on, Dr. Catch? What is really going on in Nigeria?
Well, if you'd ask me, I would tell you that the original issue was that we had people in the army who were conniving with the militias. So, yes, the president has been pushed by the Americans coming to do more. But then you're now beginning to find out that that same command structure internally in the army that actually helped the Fulani militia are still there. Yes, because of the new appointment of a new defense minister, he did what he did. Everybody now dodged for him and allowed him to have his way. But it's like after a month or two, the bad soldiers are back to their old ways. So this simply tells you that the bad eggs who were conniving during the Buhari administration with the militias are still there in the army. They have not left the army. And they don't also forget that even in the army, you heard the other day one of the big service chiefs telling people in line with the words of the National Security Advisor that these killers are our brothers. And so the army will not kill them. And that just tells you that the Fulani leaders and patrons have started reaching out to the army to tell them not to kill the militias. But these patrons are not able to tell the Fulani militias to lay down their arms. The militias are still bent on doing what they want to do. This simply tells you that this is a recreation of the uh, pictures and the experience in Katsina State. That no matter how you try to negotiate with the terrorists, they always find a way to go back to their old ways. So that's what it is. Ibadu have been preaching that we show mercy. I think his preachings have gotten to some of the service chiefs who have been going around to say that we don't kill them. But then the Fulani militias are still bent on killing the people in Plateau State. So it's not an issue of who did it. We know who did it. Why it does it sustain? We know why. Because the military men are not yet on the same page as the country, or some of them who were purposed
Messenger.
to complicitly connive with the militias are back to their old ways. So we do have problems in our hands. And that's why you see the army knows how to get rid of these people. When you start hearing army commanders saying we should forgive them, these are our brothers, it simply tells you they don't understand what the job is. If you say forgive them, have you been able to capture them? If you say, does that mean you want to now lay down your guard, which is what we see? So the pressure from Ribadu, who is a Fulani, to the service chiefs and the rank and file of the army seems to be working. But instead of us to have more security and peace with the Fulani militias, we seem to see them, you know, or take their game to a higher level, and that's why you're seeing what you're seeing. My problem is the government is still not there. I don't think the government has gotten the military to understand that they have to abandon their old ways of conniving with the militias. That's where we have the problem. And it's very good that the world is watching. The Americans are in the country, and at the same time, they are witnesses to the military chiefs going around to sing the same song that the National Security Advisor Ibadu is singing, that we don't have to kill these people. But the people are now killing us. So what do we do? What did we do? This is purely, and don't forget, negligence is a criminal offense. Negligence of your duty, and if negligence of your duty is the reasons why the militias are killing people again, it simply means that the military officers who have been trying to change their minds are complicit in this case.
Dr. Katch, so some people go talk saying pure negligence have been just complicity. The reason I ask about this now because some people feel say the Nigerian president actually did more powerful than any president in the world because of the way our constitution used it. That is to say that there is nothing the Nigerian president wants to achieve that he cannot achieve. If President Bola Tinubu can get a $6 billion loan signed within 3 hours, approved within 3 hours by the National Assembly, if he can get the national anthem within a couple of hours, passed, changed by the National Assembly, what can the National Assembly not help him achieve, or what can he not achieve if he wanted to. So people are thinking that it's more like complicity than negligence, because you cannot say that you're unaware that your people are dying in this number. See the kind of thing where we see they happen. I had a guest yesterday who mentioned a community, a thief community in Nasarawa State, of a popular rapper that has been overrun. In Papa house, they don't fall am, rebuild another house, change the name of the community. So as it stands now, that person no get village. And there are different villages like that in Nigeria. What are we doing about it? Is it that the president just does not want to act, or he's feigning ignorance about this? Why massage the ego, or perhaps play ignorance to the people where they cause this problem? Because it has come to that point where the awareness is now vast. Reason I'm saying this is because there's a young man, Alex Bradbury, a missionary from the United States, where I've been done host here for this platform, and where they speak out very well for what they go on for Nigeria. Now, a few things he said that infuriated Sheikh Gumi, Bashir Ahmed, and other Nigerians. According to them, they said that then called the DSS, made DSS tell him to go, even though he said he had a round ticket and it was time for him to leave. But if the Nigerian government of authorities or security agencies can ask a foreigner who has rebuilt houses for our displaced people what government refused to do and could not do, who has been showing up for our people through his missionary job, if we can ask him to go because he's calling the government to be accountable to protect their people, then that means there is that no complicity. Make a play a few of the footages of what's in the cost trouble window recently.
They just murdered over 10 people. Yeah. Innocent Christians. Yeah. On Palm Sunday. Yeah. Tinubu, where are you? As your people are slaughtered in the night. As you sit in Aso Rock and you do absolutely nothing. You allow your people to be killed again and again and again and again. When will it stop? When will you hear the cries of Nigerians, of Christians? You can no longer deny genocide. They're being slaughtered. And you say there's no issue. You will regret what you are doing.
Hate for saying that Allah is a bloodsucker. But what I want to ask is, what does the Quran and the Hadith teach? I will not say Allah is a bloodsucker, but I will preach and tell you what the Quran says. Surah 9:29. It says, fight those who disbelieve in Allah. In the Hadith, it says that the greatest form of jihad is religious fighting. So when Fulani come into the village and they chant Allahu Akbar, and they kill your families, it should not be a surprise. When Muslims are commanded to fight those who disbelieve, it's no surprise they seek you. Was this boy a Muslim? Was this boy a Muslim? Have any of the people here been Muslims that have been killed? So why is it that they're only killing Christians? Are they clashing with you? Is this just a clash between farmers and herders? Where are your AK-47s? Are you clashing with the Fulani? You're being innocently slaughtered. And the ones who are in charge of protecting your life are not doing it. Even Christian leaders, they will say that, oh, I can't talk about the government because it's political. Since when is death and life a political issue? Since when is saying that you have the right to live a political and governmental issue? If you don't have the right to breathe, what right do you have? What good is a road? What good is a borehole?
All right, make a stop am here, make I not talk too much. So this na a few of the things we be say talk will make Shegumi vex. Shegumi talk say the guy a CIA agent and he has to leave Nigeria. Bashir Ahmed said he's inciting Christians against Muslims, that he's causing incitement in Nigeria and all that. And make I let you react to him. Are there things? Please help us pick out the things he said so far that is a lie, and then why are the Muslims quick to condemning the things that this young man has said without condemning the killings? Because at the time that they condemned these things, they never ever condemned the just killing. They didn't say anything about the just killing, about the killing of people. I can take it from so.
Well, you need to understand that it's been the uh, job of these Muslim leaders to constantly be in denial of these atrocities. But it is also good that as they are trying to be in denial and trying to dissuade any of this visual broadcasting, I have followed the work of this young man and I commended him and I'm very happy for what he's doing. But you need to understand there are a lot of people in Nigeria who are busy denying what's going on. If they say there's no genocide, why are they afraid of people telling the world what's going on? This is just the problem. And you now have government uh, also listening to them. Well, let us see how the government will react to this. The gentleman is not doing anything bad. He's only going to affected people and helping them and also getting the word out about what's going on, sensitizing the population. So these patrons you see, these people you see complain against him are the patrons. These are the financiers. These are the people that have gotten this thing on. These are people who are just as guilty as the militiamen. This is what has kept the genocide going on for so many years and nobody has stopped. Now that people are beginning now to give the genocide the desired publicity, of course, they would like to deny it and, if possible, stop those who are bringing the publicity to what they are doing from continuing their work. That's what you're saying. So we're not surprised. It is the same thing. If they have a way, they will stop me and you from discussing it. They don't want anybody to say it. They are the see no evil, speak of no evil, and just see, don't even know about evil. And don't tell anybody what you see.
And the Nigerian government is okay with it. That's the point I'm making. It's okay for Nigerian government to listen to
Yes,
them
yes,
and say
yes.
it's okay for Nigerians not to be aware of what's going on in their environment. If you speak up, they arrest you. As you and I, they talk now. They talk now. They come pick us. Say, "Oh, why are you talking too much?" But those that are causing the crime, they cannot arrest them. These are things that people need to understand. Because how is it that they can come to you and tell you, "Oh, you cannot be speaking up about these things," but then they can't stop the things going on? And that's the confusion where a lot of Nigerians then get. What did they happen? And then those where they encourage, like Shegumi, where they encourage the things and where they happen, where they encourage, they talk now, say you don't give government the ultimate result. You take the bull by the hand on by telling them what they will do, which is to negotiate with people and all that. He has said all that. He has never, ever giving us a solution to how people who their communities have been displaced can go back to their communities. We've not seen that solution for him. And then nobody says anything to Shegumi. Nobody. Then, but if me and you talk out now, they'll come for us. Why, sir? What thing they go on? And the thing that more people want these answers more because they feel that the president is not a northerner. He not be Fulani, he not be northerner. So why is he succumbing to this kind of thing? Why he no fit take action? These are things that people need clarification on.
Well, it's a failure of our system. The government was warned about the Fulani Jihad while it was raging in Burkina Faso, in Mali, in Central African Republic. The government knew this was going to come, but they failed to plan against it. Instead, they plan to be in denial, and that's what they've been doing since. So that's why you see the government didn't plan to stop this thing, and that's why you see them trying to hide it. It's a failure of governance, and instead of making ways to correct that failure of governance, we simply see our government run into denial. And I don't think that denial will help them in any way. They continue digging the pit for themselves, and the world will continue to see a government in denial of manifest Fulani violence and genocide against other Nigerians.
Yes, sir. So the president eventually, after so much backlash, opera, and all that, remember, say a lot of people from the United States don't complain about this attack. There's a lot of complaint from Riley Moore. I mean, this young man in particular also did have quite a couple of interviews where he talked about it, which have to play for you later. After much complaint, the president could eventually go to Plateau State to visit the victims of this incident. And make I show you waiting the talk for the interview as he visit. Because first of all, as he reach the place where visit the things happen. It stopped for airport. Make I show you what's in the visit.
Very
I like
much.
the smile.
Please be seated. You have no light at the airport and be seated. You have no light at the airport and I have to fly back within the next 10 minutes. To you leaders, I've had this. To the victim, there's nothing I can give you, whether money in billions, but console you and promise you that this experience will not repeat itself. I take, for example, Favor Rhoda. I know the pain. I see how on the video you head on to Ayuba and the pain and agony in your heart. But it's only God. It's only God who can give you joy and comfort. No amount of money can pay all of you back. Yes, as government, we will try our best.
Okay, all right. So, Dr. Katch, sir, some Nigerians ask the question: is President Bola Tinubu aware that he's the president of Nigeria? Now, questions
Of
were
course,
on social media
Tinubu
because
knows he's
people not saying be the
president.
president. You come, they talk this kind of thing, say there is no light and I have to fly back in 10 minutes. When you they tell people we be say your ineptitude, sorry, your lack of action or inaction caused the death of their loved ones, and you're telling them this. That's not the question when people they ask on the streets of social media. Make a take your reaction, sir.
You're asking me when the man elected to do work is he has failed to do the work and he doesn't know how to react to that. So what are we gonna do? It just tells you about the state of decay that the Nigerian state has fallen to. So that's part of the complaints that we've all been given. The leaders are not available to actually do their work. There is no consciousness that seems to make the leader show us that he knows that these are what he was put there to do. So for me, I will simply tell you these are parts of the signs of the failure of the state. That's why Nigeria is referred to in some corners as a failed state. Our system has broken down. The institutions of state have all broken down. So we're all now, we've reached a point where we can say that the army can protect Nigerians. You had to now have the US Army come here to protect us. You can hear what we're discussing about Plateau, where there are even soldiers conniving in complicit conniving with the militias against the indigenous people. This is very terrible. Nigeria is in a very sorry state. So it's good that we're seeing it in different ramifications. That is the reason we are pleading that things should change. I condemn the state of our country today. I condemn the incompetence of leaders. I also condemn their negligence of their duty. And that's what we're saying. Negligence itself is a criminal offense. So, and they are being complicit in what's going on. It's not hidden. And they are taken to denial of the facts. And that's why you now see us discussing of the hostility towards somebody who is trying to reveal this fact. The fact that he's an American is the reason why he's free. Imagine what would have happened if that was in Nigeria. So we take risk to speak the truth to power.
I'm telling you because it just shows that
We
if it
know.
was Nigerian, if it were Nigerians that creating this awareness, they can be done away with it as soon as possible. If an American can be in Nigeria doing this and there's this kind of reaction about him.
Yes, there is a problem in our country. We're not going to lie about it. We're severely challenged currently, and we will continue to pray that things get better. Until then, we're not going to give up hope. I will not
All right, sir. So,
fight
so
alone.
all right. So just to put the context, the woman he was referring to is this lady. The president is referring to this lady that is
da wannan zan sa shi a media ne ki faɗa abin da kina so ki
now the woman when she talk say she see the way in the hold onto his son when he be said the son die and that there is nothing he can do about it, that the only person who can console her is God. And people feel say a lot of assurance no dey that word coming from a president whose primary responsibility not to prevent that kind of thing will happen, make it for no happen. However, a lot of people don't also begin slam President Bola Tinubu say he not forget to seize the opportunity to mention matter we get to do with him re-election, and people feel a bit infuriated over what they call the insensitivity of the president over that. Make a clear for you.
Another past leader whose name has a code repeatedly. Lalong, get up and give me assurance. And I want to hear from Jang.
Let me go first.
Your Excellency, our beloved President, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, GCFR, welcome to Plateau State. We still believe we are a home of peace and tourism. And by the grace of God, we shall continue to be. Mr. President, I want to confirm, joined the Bongom Jos and our executive governor on this special request that we should meet you in Abuja and we'll be able to talk heart to heart and find real solutions to these problems. I went through it, Daria went through it, Lalong went through it. The fact that, again, it is stemming, it has started trying to leave the villages to get again to the township. It's a dimension that I want to say. Your Excellency, I think some people want to sabotage these coming elections. And by the grace of God, will not allow them. You're doing a fantastic job for the nation. And some people think they want to spoil it at this last tail end of the first tenure. By the grace of God, you'll come back to accomplish the work. I look forward, Your Excellency, to coming to Abuja so that we really have a heart-to-heart talk.
Yay! You're doing an excellent job. Ha! On the blood of people where they just shared on Sunday. Dr. Katch, sir, What in the name of politics is this? What's in they really go on? For a past governor of the state to tell the president after his own people die, say, and he admits, say the thing, the disaster or the crisis, they move from the suburbs to the city. That means it's escalating. Something that should worry him as a past leader. He's saying the president is doing an excellent job and that he will come back as the second term to continue. We need to make a take a thought, sir.
His Excellency Governor Jonah Deng is speaking as a politician. He's not speaking as a senior citizen.
On the blood of the people who died, that's the thing. Is there no limit to politics? That's the question, really. And that's
Our people never lose the chance when given to them to play politics.
hey,
So he has spoken to reassure the president that despite the killing by the Fulani militia, that him, a stakeholder, a leader in Plateau, believes that him, the president, is doing well, and that he thinks that is calibrated by those who do not, sorry, by those who do not wish the president well. And so he has used the opportunity he got to speak, to praise the president as the politicians will normally do, and then to reassure him that they are with him in regards to the expectations from stakeholders and senior persons in Plateau. I have no doubt the president wants to do well. I have no doubt he wants to impress both the Americans and also the people of Plateau. But of course, the patrons who are the people that are helping the militia men are currently not happy with President Tinubu. Some of them think that Tinubu is in cahoots with the Americans to stop them from continuing their genocidal action.
the Americans are not even
And
doing
that's why
anything yet.
no. What you see, when the Americans came first and the Minister of Defense was appointed, you saw activities that seem to have arrested the Americans. But of course, you saw now the reaction by someone like Ribadu, National Security Advisor, and other Fulani leaders, telling the army to stop killing their boys. But they are not doing the job of also telling the boys to lay down their arms and stop killing the Christians in Plateau, Christians in Benue, and other places. As far as they continue to kill people as a ploy to gain land, it will not work. It also shows you that the government has not stamped its feet on the ground. Expel all the militia gotten land. Expel those who are now living on it, who in most cases are not Nigerian. Let these people go back to their country. Nigeria has no land to resettle displaced refugees from Mali, from Burkina Faso, from Central African Republic. There are no Nigerians, I repeat, there are no Nigerians seeking to be removed from their homes in Sokoto, Katsina, Zamfara, or anywhere in Nigeria and be relocated in bushes elsewhere in either the middle belt or in the south of Nigeria. It doesn't exist. The Fulani militias are fighting to take control of land, to use that to resettle Fulani refugees traveling into Nigeria from foreign countries. These people are not Nigerians. And that's why I condemn the actions of Nuhu Ribadu and those who are with him. I also believe that the government does not yet have a policy of redemption, of remediation? No. If they do have a remediation policy against what the Fulani militia men have done, we will see the action. You will not see anybody try to go back to kill in just to gain land. The essence of killing is to gain land, to ethnically cleanse the owners of the land from the ancestral land. And then, as the land is available, you now give it to new people who will travel to that place, migrate to the place, colonize the land, and that's what I call settler colonialism. This, we don't have time for it. The president is not yet serious, is not harsh on the people who are doing this, because if there are reprimands, if there are consequences for those responsible, you will not see these actions continue by the militiamen who are purposed to do ethnic cleansings. And of course, the only way they can do the ethnic cleansing is through shared killing of persons to remove them from the land that they seek to take for repossession by Fulani refugees who have now arrived in Nigeria.
So, Dr. Katch, make I play you a couple of videos of what happened for University of Jos yesterday. The reason I won't play, I'm gonna make you understand how bad it did. First, talking about the fact that people can now, some mob, according to them, some Fulani mob go fit attack somebody for broad daylight. People drive by, nobody could stop, nobody stopped them, nobody tried to say anything till they lynched the man and killed him. Broad daylight on a video for a city near the University of Jos. It's that close, and nothing happened. The reason I'm afraid is because at least I've never seen a thing like this. It's just like in a total anarchy. Let me play to you, and then where they also attacked the church, and I mean, you understand how the language, so you know understand a little bit of what this thing said. So they take after the man of life and obviously the people kill him down from the hospital. And
see, they don't kill person, they don't kill person. They don't kill this man. They don't kill this man. They don't kill this man. What did he do? What did he do?
Now, Dr. Katch, that attack continued until they killed him on the spot. I had to blow it because of YouTube policies, but it continued until they killed him on the spot. But what is shocking for me till tomorrow is the fact that people they drive the pass. Nobody fit stop them, because if all the cars then wait there, everybody gather, there's no way they would have killed that man. They would have been able to stop him from dying. But nobody said anything. People were just driving for their own safety. How did we become so deranged in Nigeria? I don't understand. How did we accept things to this level? Let me also show you another video where a church was attacked. I better make you watch it.
Kokin Church Nasara. The church was attacked this morning. Gunshots, stones, and just name it. Check out the windows that Iman. Please, mene kadan ba mu details mene ya faru please.
Kadan tuba daga can already tun daga nan wurin nan mun fara. Muna tura mota ne ma nan wurin nan. Kawai mun fara jin Allahu Akbar. Daga can mun fita mun ga kama abin da wasa ne. Kamin mu ankara kawai shikenan harbi. Sun riga sun fara wai su bara su iya shiga can ba, mu ma bara mu shiga cikin nan ba. Kawai sai suka da kyar na escape na shiga nan wurin nan. ina shigan church na kulle gate kafin nan an kara shi ne kaga wannan destroying din nan da ka gani akai na gaba daya ga gate shi da riga lankwashe gaba daya ko kafin nan nazo na kama nawa daga nan muka fara jefi ne zuwa wurin Allah ne kawai da muke we are only few mun fa ne kawai a cikin nan wurin in ba Allah ne ya taimaka mun rufe nan wurin nan ba ina ga da ya riga zama wani abu da gaba daya ne da church ne ya riga zama sun ga sun shiga yanzu ga ke ya riga rushe boye na riga wannan kamun mun kira an riga police nan wurin babu da sun yi babu ne gaba daya kawai anan wurin da tap
I hope you've heard from the source what's happened. May God help us. Enough is enough, people of God.
All right, sir. Okay, Dr. Katch, sir. I bet make I let you answer to those questions with the very my heart. How what will happen to us who will go to this level? We're killing of our fellow human beings. Now nothing, you don't mean anything to us. And we just have fire and watch people kill people and it doesn't matter. Are we not we not follow the age this kind of thing to happen? We don't follow the encourager.
Well, I would say we were never like this until Buhari became president and then formally unleashed the strategies of gaining land to resettle Fulani refugees displaced from fightings in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Central African Republic. It was because Nigerian legislature refused to grant him the land that they now, out of frustration, decided to gain land through ethnic cleansing. And as they say, the rest is history. So we are now in a place where every day, due to the Fulani quest for land, and that's different from the jihad of Boko Haram and the jihad of ISIS, West Africa. The Fulani militias, theirs is simply to kill and to take life. And that's what they are on. And that's why you saw the US articles of engagement stated that it was the Fulani leaders that they were looking. But as you can see, the Americans have decided that it should be Nigerians who should do the actual work of facing down against the Fulani militia. Well, maybe they've not taken their job seriously, maybe they've not done it well, and that's why you're not seeing the militia back ferociously with the kind of purpose that seem to have doubled their previous engagement. It's a problem today in the country, and we should not pretend as if things are normal. No, they are not normal. We are talking about this, and the Fulani leaders and patrons and sponsors are willing to go to any length to deny this and to stop those like me and you who are revealing this to the public from having a free space to operate upon. They are very powerful in society, in government, and that's why the killings have sustained without government's capacity or ability to even do what government should do. But of course, that's why most of us are very grateful that Americans are now here, and we think whatever anybody might think, the American intervention has actually arrested to a very large extent the propensity and the raging strength of the killings. Yes, they're trying now to go back. Of course, we're heading towards election. They use the violence effectively to undermine Goodluck Jonathan. Nobody says they will not use it against President Tinubu, who, for me, is totally incompetent in calibrating a reaction to the Fulani war across the Sahel that has not bettered in Nigeria. Tinubu has been very incompetent, and I condemn his government for this failure.
All right, so very quickly, make I take your thoughts on a few things. So basically, happened. You heard something about the Americans being here. People like Shigumi feel like saying that the presence of Americans now make these attacks they more escalated. If they talk and see the Americans and other foreign people need to leave our land, saying that then they need to attack, they get worse from inside our country. And speaking about our attack, the attacks getting worse, Riley Moore tweeted and said, this is what he tweeted. Let me read it out and see if I can see that. So he did say on Palm Sunday in two grazing attacks. At least 53 Christians were murdered by Islamic radical terrorists in Nigeria. President Trump has been very clear that if the Nigerian government will not address this genocide, we will address it for them. Persecution and slaughter of our brothers and sisters in our Lord or in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ must end now. He said. Now, Ted Cruz also tweeted and said that the government know exactly the people then wey visit the aid support form or the cause this terrorism and say they will take appropriate action against them. But a lot of people they feel like say, all these are just talks, no action. You have been almost involved in this getting to 1 year now. We don't dey pursue 1 year where America indicates interest in what's going on in Nigeria. When exactly are we going to see positive results? Because for all Nigerians care now, more people are dying, even in more numbers that they died before this got global attention. And must America alone be involved in what's going on in Nigeria? That's another question. European Parliament, other countries, are they not seeing that people are really dying? What's in be the place of the world in this kind of situation when it be say people they die for a particular part of the world? Why the rest of the world stay quiet? I go let me answer my question if I play you video where I go.
The rest of the world is quiet because they don't want to interfere in issues that when you ask them to help, it will then force them to put boots on the ground, as Americans have done. Now, it's good thing that the congressman is hinting that if the Nigerian government does not take steps to save those being killed, that the American government might do something. That's a very encouraging statement. I hope he carries it out. I hope they go the full length to actually start to do something to stop the killing. This is what we're praying. These are things that we're begging. It is now good that they are here and they are seeing themselves live and direct what we have seen, what we've been suffering for over a decade. So this is what Nigeria has been for a very long time. Now that we have cried and the world has heard us, we pray that the world acts accordingly, in line with what you are saying. The world cares, but you have to find somebody with a muzzle to intervene. You saw when the United States raised their voice, our government went into denial. So, if not that the US had muzzle to put foot on the ground, despite Nigerian government denial, who could have done that? That the US have done. So it will have just been a period where we die, get killed, the government just do nothing, and then more people get killed. So let us accept it. The government has failed us. Let us pray that the Americans do hasten their plans and come quickly to stop the killing in Nigeria.
Make a quick play with something we are right more popular interview recently. Very quickly.
Dozens of people are dead after an attack in Nigeria on Palm Sunday. This latest attack is now added to the.
I just like to say that this is courtesy of Newsmax. I didn't give the grant and the interview and where ABC talk within it talk.
Dozens of people are dead after an attack in Nigeria on Palm Sunday. This latest attack is now added to the list of numerous attacks on Nigerian Christians over the years. prayers during Holy Week. And it comes as there is a growing concern that Islamist militants are targeting Christians in the West African country. According to Open Doors, which is a global Christian charity, Nigeria is ranked the 7th worst country in the world for Christian persecution, accounting for about 72% of the total number of Christian killings worldwide last year. Congressman Riley Moore of West Virginia is a member of the House Appropriations Committee and has been warning about this escalating violence against Christians in Nigeria. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
You've presented an official report to the White House. You've handed over solutions. Here's how we can end this Christian persecution. So walk us through what you think needs to be done.
Well, so this report that we presented to the White House was pursuant to the president asking myself and Chairman Tom Cole, the House Appropriations Committee, to investigate this Christian persecution and what I've been calling a genocide in Nigeria that's been going on. So we went to Nigeria. We went there. I saw it firsthand with my own eyes, the tragedy and horror that's unfolding there. So as you just reported, unfortunately, we've had 40 individuals who were killed at a Palm Sunday service, which is just tragic. And then on top of that, you had another 13 Christians killed by Islamic radical militants at a Christian wedding and on Sunday. So we have a number of suggestions in here of how the Nigerian government can work with the United States government to address this. But as President Trump has been very clear on this, if they don't address this, we're going to address it for them. Now, we'd like to do that in cooperation and coordination. But if they don't do that, if they don't step up to the plate here, we're going to start to take the lead on this. Now, currently we have 200 military individuals from our armed forces there training and working with the Nigerian military to try to address their capability gaps that they have there. We have MQ-9 Reapers there currently as well. And as you saw, we did have a Tomahawk cruise missile strike just around Christmas in Nigeria to try to address ISIS and Boko Haram, which also operate in that country largely unfettered, which is a terrible, terrible situation. But look, Nigerian government has been trying to make some steps toward this, but they're not doing it fast enough. Things aren't happening quick enough. And these things keep happening. So something's got to give here.
Now, following the Palm Sunday killings, the New York Times put out an article that reads in part, Representative Riley Moore of West Virginia, one of several U.S. congressmen who have falsely claimed that there is a Christian genocide happening in Nigeria. Analysts say that the situation in the country is much more complex and that Nigerians of many faiths have been killed. Much of the violence, they say, is fueled by criminals rather than being religious or ethnic tensions. How do you react to that?
Well, I mean, that's just a false claim on its face, right? But we're here talking about, you and I, a Palm Service Sunday being attacked by Islamic radicals. We're talking about a Christian wedding being attacked by Islamic radicals. When I was in Nigeria, I met with people who Christians who are living in IDP camps. IDP camps. So they're in refugee camps where Islamic radicals just roll through there and murder people who are living in refugee camps. So I'm not really sure how much more complex it is than that, than Islamic radical Muslims are running wild in this country. And what they'll argue is about things like that. Sure, that's part of it. Are there non-Christians are being killed in Nigeria? Of course there are. I mean, there's terrorist organizations there. Yes, of course. But there's a systemic effort by Islamic radicals to eliminate Christian populations within Nigeria.
All right. We appreciate you taking your time to join us this morning. Thank you, Congressman Riley Moore.
All right. So initially, while he was still in Nigeria, Alex Baveribin get this interview with an international media platform too, and this is what he had to say.
I want to move to Nigeria. So that's where you are. Dozens of Christians were killed yesterday in Palm Sunday, slaughtered. Can you take us through what is going on in Nigeria right now? And this is a story that the rest of the world, particularly the West, refuses to cover. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's the truth. It's actually completely disgusting what is happening in Nigeria. And it's not just in one single place. It's not just in one state. It's literally every state across Nigeria. You have people that are innocent that are being slaughtered. And just last night, literally 2 or 3 miles from where I am, they came on motorbikes and in a car, AK-47s, machetes, started killing everybody, shooting everybody in a junction that one of my partners lives at. It could have been my very partner who was killed that night. He's the one who called me as soon as the attack happened and said, hey, there's an attack happening right now where we live. And so I called my driver. I said, we have to go. We have to go see what is happening. And when I got there were 10 people that were killed. Blood everywhere, all over the street. I mean, I still have blood on my boots. And my God. By the morning when I woke up, the death toll had tripled. Now it's been 31 people killed, 27 people still in the hospital.
Dr. Katch, let me take your thought while I open the phone lines. Nigerian's phone lines are open 0817-029-4077. That's the number to call to join the conversation. Or you click on the link on the pin post. It will bring you straight into the studio for you to participate in for the conversation we basically get. Before that, I'd also like to, pick your mind briefly on what they go on with the ADC. But let me take a reaction with this to this very quickly, sir. Would you like to react quickly to these videos before we enter a bit of political conversations?
No, no, no. The videos are okay. They're fine. They simply tell the stories that weren't being told before. And we pray that the American action starts in earnest.
Okay. All right, sir. So, something magical happened yesterday. Yesterday, there was a leaked memo from INEC where INEC, they asked me and you, all of us, we get PVC. The full meaning of
To
PVC.
revalidate.
But thank you. God bless you. I like the fact that you're very aware, sir. So to revalidate our permanency, so we don't get permanency already. We'll call revalidate them since the permanent voters card. And this don't raise a lot of up. People they say, excuse me, is that excuse me? I'm Mr. Josh. I'm up with I thought they said you had integrity. What exactly are you trying to do right now? Are you trying to deliberately disenfranchise some Nigerians? That's what people they talk. But that's not all. Before we don't even say Jack Robinson, the same INEC don't talk say they don't stop, they don't de-recognize ADC, the leadership of David Mark, which so far seemed like the only opposition party because the Labour Party still there in crisis. Abure and another Usman platform still they do like this, now. The PDP, I hear say Wike they talk say he go resign to contest for presidency. He will resign as a minister to contest the presidency so that he would hold under PDP to hold down the PDP for presidential material. The PDP is almost in ruins. So we don't know the possibility of the PDP becoming anything. And the only party where they like say gets small hope at the AGC. And this total thing now, the INEC for against an appeal court judgment to talk say they will go recognize ADC again. People don't talk say who will beat the drum for INEC and why INEC dey listen to this drum. You can take your foot on waiting dey go on for the political atmosphere for Nigeria presently.
What you're seeing is nothing new. This is the old Bola Tinubu template. Delete and eliminate the contestant and the platform before the contest. This is Tinubu's playbook. It has not changed. So if he's able to delete or eliminate the contestant and the platform before the contest, he has gotten his way. That's how Tinubu operates. If you check his history, so there's nothing new about what's going on. I have told you before on this particular uh, channel that I do not think Tinubu will allow for elections next year. So we're not seeing a repeat of their battle protocols. I don't see any reason for any alarm. No, it's been there for a very long time. Yes, the opposition people, they are responsible for what they are getting. They have not yet made their game known. There is no leader we can fall with because of Atiku Abubakar's refusal to respect zoning. He has become the 800-pound gorilla in the room, undermining the process for the opposition. But that's not the reason why Tinubu and the INEC should suddenly be revealing their hands. We are not surprised. We've been led to this path by the APC, and now there is confusion in the country about the elections next year. If you leave Tinubu to his game, there will be no election. I make bold to say so. There is nothing actually seeing right now where certain protocols similar to the Abacha era. You know, when you had the five leprous fingers, all of them were loyal to Abacha. So you're going to have Tinubu organize the process in such a way that nobody will challenge him at the election. That's nothing new in it. It's what we've known. We're only just watching the down steps that bring us there. It's not the INEC issue. We had that the INEC chairman was forced to issue the position that INEC issued, choosing to interpret the position of the court in the way it deemed fit. They have gone this path before against the PDP, so they are going the same path against the ADC. Whatever it is, let us learn our lesson. And no matter the amount of stories you tell, it's very basic. Tinubu does not wish to be challenged at the election by any credible position. So when you now start promoting pictures of P2OB versus Kwankwaso, you simply frighten Tinubu to do what he has done. I am not surprised by the things that we have seen. Tinubu simply, I have told several people, he will not allow for elections next year. And where are you going to go to? To Kekereeku's court as a Tinubu court. So I just think I've spoken privately to some leaders, governors, senators, and they told me that if manna doesn't fall from heaven, they will just wait it out till next year before, after Tinubu gets his second term, then we can start politics again. So this is how the democracy has been brought to a screeching halt. You saw once the party had what they had last week, and then they came here, there was no contestable positions. They had what they called the consensus list endorsed through affirmation. And that's it. The politics has changed.
Sir,
The
so
democracy
okay,
is
so as it
currently.
stands now, you talk saying that Tinubu way not to get opposition because a lot of people they talk say more like also a wiki way because that's exactly the card wiki played against the APC in Rivers State to ensure that they didn't have any credible candidates to contest against him. So he didn't become a two-term governor in Rivers State because of his popularity. It was because he had somehow frustrated the opposition in Rivers State. And that's exactly what's going on now. As it stands now, the ADC led by David Mark said they go on with their congresses, their world congresses, the state congresses, and all the things we they will do. People they talk say if they do them, go they invalidated. Now here's a question that the ADC asked the president, David Mark. He asked, waiting in the fear. You have over 30 governors already. You have so amount of people waiting in the fear. I'm coming to them because I'll show you exactly what you can say. According to the fact that they may be responsible for what they did.
Right now, I speak to Nigerians at home and in diaspora. I also speak directly to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. With 90% of the National Assembly and over 30% of Nigeria's 36 governors in the APC, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, what are you afraid of? If you are convinced that you have done well for the people who voted for you, why are you afraid of a free, fair, and transparent electoral contest? If you are indeed the Democrat that you claim to be, why are you bent on destroying all opposition political parties in this country? Let me reiterate for the record.
Okay, sir. So here is David Mark accusing him personally, saying that he be the person who they cause all the problem when they happen for all the political parties. But then let me also go straight to what Dino Melaye said today for Inside Channels Television Breakfast Show about
The
president
APC have become
and
so
APC.
desperate. The APC have seen that ADC is the only opposition we have in the Federal Republic of Nigeria to challenge them in 2011. And they've seen exodus of movements of people from various political parties into ADC. And me personally, I'm shocked why they are panicked. You said you have 32 governors, you have taken over then why are you afraid? So, in a nutshell, it is not about ADC. It is about democracy. President Ahmed Bola Tinubu wants to be coronated. He doesn't want election. He just wants to be coronated. He wants us to practice a monarchical system of government, a Kabiyesi mentality, where he will just be coronated. And even from what is said in 2022, 2023, we can see from it that a man who said, "It is my turn." No Democrat will tell you it is my turn because it's not a monarchical system of government. It's not a chieftaincy title. You know? In democracy, there's no turn. A man who said, "Grab it, take it, and run away with it." Is that a democratic language? That's a mafia. It's a mafia language. Only a mafia will talk like that. No Democrat will talk like that. So the tendency of not being a Democrat was manifested early enough, but Nigerians did not see it. Right. Tinubu is a totalitarian. And what they are trying to do is to stifle power by force. They want a one-party state. They don't want election. They just want to be coronated. And it is practically going to be impossible in Nigeria because the battle to rescue this country from these economic cankerworms, from these scavengers, from these criminals in power, is a battle of no retreat, no surrender. We are going to fight this with every legal means. We are going to be on the streets. We are going to do everything practically possible to make sure that democracy continue to remain. Government of the people, by the people, and for the people, and not greediocracy like Tinubu is trying to interpret it.
Senator Miller, I'd like to, appeal to you to use your words cautiously. The ruling party spokespersons are not here, to defend themselves. So when we refer to them in derogatory manner, it leaves more to...
Okay. And then an APC chieftain was on our television earlier, and this is what he had to say about the crisis. And
so different people, different styles. If you think that Buhari is a better Democrat, that's your opinion. As far as I'm concerned, Buhari has his style, Tinubu has his style. And there is no hand of Tinubu in this kind of thing. But politically speaking, one day when I was speaking with you, Rufai, yes, I told you something. Then look, we will also not sit down and look and watch them destroy us or our party. The more they poach into us, we will also put sand in their gari.
That's the game you're playing. I like that.
Poached senior members of our party. They poached Rufai from us. They poached Malemi from us. They poached Amechi from us. They poached so many other people from us. Should we just sit by? So politically speaking, we are doing things in a political manner to also harm them, politically speaking. So whatever also they do
it's
to do that, that's their business. But if
Mr. Farouk,
I mean, I also am not happy with what INEC did, honestly.
Mr. Farouk, it's fair game. I'm happy.
I'm so sorry that kept me waiting, but Dr. Katch, make I come back to you. So dear Anna Farouk and you, they admit, say they poach Mechi, then come out Aerofy, then come on Malami for their hand. So say then get right to put some for their Gary. That is certainly admitting that they are the ones causing all the crisis. Really happy for the position. Make her take your place. That's what this is.
That's who's causing the crisis.
Okay. Farouk Aliyu, the APC guy, is saying that the ADC guys collect Malami for their hand, collect Aerofy for their hand, collect Amechi for their hand, and they don't poach a lot of their big wigs so that they too have the right to put sand in their gari.
Yes.
So
that's why I kept telling you.
Only accepting that they are the reason these political parties are having issues.
Of course, this is you're seeing an internal APC implosion. There's nothing. That's why I told you earlier that this is a family case. It's an internal APC implosion. So their members have left them and have gone to ADC to start what they are doing, and the APC is trying to stop them at all costs, if possible, by even uh, outlawing the party, outlawing the platform, and making sure that they're not allowed to, move on and gain any headway in the electoral process. That's what he's saying. So that they are simply taking steps into their hands to fight the fight the best way they know. And the best way they know is just make sure that they delete the platform that those members are running to now use to challenge them at the polls. That's what they're doing. So I agree with him. He's right. It's an internal APC crisis. But it is has to be done within the ambience of the law. And the law says if they have abandoned your party and have gone to a new platform, allow them legally to contest against you from that platform. But these people are saying no, won't allow you. You're members of the party, going elsewhere, you're trying to implode the party, undermine us, so we're going to stop you any which way we can. But what we're saying is that the way they are choosing to do that stopping is crude and not in line with the law. Very simple. There are legal ways to stop your member who have left you, and you think he's now causing himself to become a nuisance. A nuisance against your interest. Yes, I agree. But that is what they say is politics. But the APC are saying they're not going to have any of that. And so they will do whatever it is, including Ojoro, to undermine those people from coming to challenge them. That's why I tell you, this case is a family case. It's an internal APC implosion. No matter how we dress it, it's going to be messy. And that's why it is not messy.
Right, thank you. Nigerians who like to let's begin to take your thought and reactions to all the things that's going on today. 0817-029-4077. You click on the link on the pin post and it'll bring you to the studio. Make your contributions, ask your questions to Dr. Katch. He'll be here and on standby to respond to all of them. MC, good evening and welcome. Let me bring you
Hello.
the comparable facts. CY Danjuma, good evening. Good evening, guys. Welcome. Let's have you quick respond. Go ahead, please. MC.
Hello, Precious. Good evening. And good evening, Dr. Katch. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good evening to the viewers. Good evening, Tiwa Dajuma, Comparable Flat. Good evening. Good evening. Yeah. Precious, mine is like this. I just want to tip in something. I don't know if you remember the Iron Lady in the United Kingdom then. You remember when you say anything she says, everybody has to follow. Even
Margaret
our
Thatcher.
policies, yes. Our
Okay.
policies, everything was so I don't know. I don't want to use some kind of words, but at the end of the day, how do the people get rid of her? Everybody abandoned her. Everybody abandoned. It was not left alone in in the party. She was not forced to resign. So that's for that. So you see, regarding this PDP issues now, regarding this ADC, PDP, and all that. So like this, a Bala faction, Makinde faction. Why can't they just leave the party for Wike? Let Wike eat the party. That is just a platform. That is the PDP is just a platform. The people is the people that makes the party. The people, not the platform. Let them abandon that PDP, whatever platform for Wiki, and let the other two factions, they all move to the ADC, join the other people in the ADC as well. So for me, I believe it's time that these people, the people that are supporting this government, they should all wash their hands off him and abandon him and go and let's build a better Nigeria rather than staying quiet. Because there are some of them, there are some of
How can
people.
you be encouraging them to go to the same ADC that is having crisis? People don't have faith in the ADC.
No. What I'm trying to say, ADC at the moment, I'm hoping that they have a plan. They have another platform of ground. It's
And in
more
case
like,
they don't,
huh?
in case they don't,
They are not fools. Those people are intelligent. The people that I saw today on the press conference, they are intelligent. They know what they are doing. They are equal to the task. They are equal to the tax. They know what they are doing. There are things that I believe there are some information that these APC people maybe they are in doubt of that information, which is not yet out to the public. That is why they are so restless and they becoming so stupid. So if I may use that word, so I believe in the coming days things will come. And these people that I saw this evening, they are ready for them as well. They are smart. Like I said before, this guy is a one-time president. He's not coming back. He's a nuisance. He doesn't need to even come back. Okay, look at the person that he said he went to Plateau today. You went to gather a show. People should come and start talking to you and all that. Were you not supposed to go and meet these people in their houses? The community, those things took place. You were supposed to go there, go to the scene, experience it yourself, see everything yourself firsthand. Even go to meet them in their homes. Rather, you went to bring some few people, sit at the airport. You were even saying in 10 minutes time, I will go. The people that ring this man into power, I don't want to lay curse on anyone. I don't want to, I'm not that kind of a person. And God will judge every one of them. Like I said, that 2023, what they did in 2023, they must confess. What the people that are involved in it, that brought this kind of hardship to Nigerians, all of them, God will not spare them. Because you could see everything. You see what is going on. This is pure wickedness and evil. So, Dr. Cash, well, my question will be this now. What is your thought regarding these the PDP aspect and this Bala aspect? What is your thought? If you can elaborate, can't they just abandon that party for Wike? What is your thought on that?
Well, it's not an issue of abandoning the party for weekend. It's you need platforms to pursue the democracy. PDP was destroyed by Atiku Abubakar. So Wike was just a reaction. The Wike is an extreme reaction because there were other reactions like I and Dono Kukwe starting the youth movement and getting Peter to head it, which we call the obedient movement. Wike himself said, okay, he will show Atiku that how can we be part and parcel, Nigerians, and we are members of one party, and you're supposed to respect that after 8 years of presence in the south, north, it should not come to the south. Then you say no. Yes. Atiku Abubakar and some other Northerners were playing to the game that they believe that the military in their days wrote decrees that gave them Northerners right to rule forever over the Southerners. So in anger, Wike started his campaign. And then in that anger, Wike overdid it. And from what Atiku started, the party is now dead. Forget the PDP. It's gone. It's destroyed. It can come back after Tinubu's election. That is true. So what you have seen is the consequences of Atiku Abubakar's behavior in not recognizing the rights of Southerners to also scheme for the presidency. Our country has seen failures and things have not come to this kind of health. what we will say is let people learn from this. What caused the death of the PDP is the Northerners in the PDP refusing to allow the presidency to come to the South after 8 years in the North. And that's how the argument in PDP started, and today the PDP is moribund and comatose. The APC have had its days. What you're having there are those who refuse to respect the election in 2023. They wrote the result, sold the presidency to Tinubu, and then when they came back to Tinubu for Tinubu to share them into power, he said, no, I paid you money to buy this position, to buy this office, so I will not share the presidency of power with you. And they started their crisis. They've done coup. The coup has been arrested. Then they broke away to found ADC. And Tinubu and his people say, no, you can't break away and render the party useless. I will make sure what you use as a platform, the ADC, is not allowed to operate. And that's what you're seeing. And that's why we're getting frustrated. But don't forget, these people now in ADC are part and parcel of the crisis that has brought the country this way. All of them you're seeing founded the ADC. All of them you're seeing remove Goodluck Jonathan from power. All of them you're seeing connive to allow Buhari to put this jihad and genocide on us. They said nothing. By the time they now transited to Tinubu, what they have plotted with Buhari has taken a life of his own in terms of the genocide. They themselves cannot control it. So that's why Nigerians are watching with trepidation. You're watching the same people who put us where we are currently now fight themselves. There is nobody new. It is the same people that form the ADC that are now fighting. Together with their members, Tinubu, that fight is now getting messy. And that's what you're seeing. So we are all victims to the machinations of these people. Don't see the ADC as different. It's just in issues of law regarding the democracy. The president should not be a party to killing the democracy in such a way that the alternative platforms to pursue democratic rights are, as we are now watching, being put out of life. As it is today, right now in the country, President Tinubu is showing that he's not a Democrat, and he does not intend to allow an alternative platform be used to challenge him at the elections in 2027. That is the trouble that we are in. The people who constructed the scam are now fighting among themselves. And that's what me and you are now discussing. So Nigeria is actually in dire straits. We are in real trouble. How are we going to get out of this? I tell you, I'm grateful. I'm happy the Americans are here. If it's for us, no. These people have already succeeded in capturing the Nigerian state. That's why we've been talking about state capture. So this is not an issue of us laying blame. We have to agree that things have gone bad, and we have to find a way to save it if we have to continue with the country experiment in regards to the state called Nigeria. That experiment has failed. It has not worked. And the blame lay more at the foot of the soldiers who designed something that didn't work. And also on the foot of these people, you see now arguing. A lot have abandoned governance for fraud, and outright terrorism as a strategy to remain relevant. Nigeria is a failed state.
Yeah.
So
Ju-
no, Oga, you go just help me
no,
first.
just it's just straight. It's straight. Sorry, straight. Right. What the ANEC chairman did to David Mark and Arigbeshola by by taking their name off the portal. Is that not treason, or is that ANEC chairman? Is he not supposed to be punished for what he did? If is
No,
that
no,
not
you're
against?
wrong. You
Okay,
are wrong. The INEC chairman didn't do anything.
okay.
That paper you see released was written by government, and the INEC chairman was asked to sign it. And then he was shown a pre-appointment paper he signed, a letter of resignation. He was asked to put out that information. So he did it under duress.
No,
What?
That's
sir.
how bad it is.
No, sir.
Yeah.
So just give us a minute, sir. Please make you not drop this kind thing like that. Make we ask questions. Are you saying that the secular one, first of all, are you talking about the secular on revalidation, or you're talking about the
No, 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 no. The secular interpreting the court decision by INEC.
for
The
ADC?
interpretation said, yes, the secular interpreting the ADC issue as pronounced by court. So the INEC interpretation now says just the same thing that they did to the PDP, that they will not recognize any caucus, either the caucus led by Nephew or the caucus led by David Mark. Now, we do not know in his understanding what he thinks the court meant by return back to status quo antebellum. He might be thinking status quo antebellum means that he goes back to recognizing Mr. Raf Okenwusu, not Nephew or David Mark, which is, I think, what he has done. He has gone now to say he will not recognize the faction led by Nephew or the faction led by David Mark. So he's going back in his own understanding to the party as it is under Okenwusu. And that's why he's saying he does not want to recognize the executive led by David Mark or the one led by Nephew. Now, this is INEC. And once he is allowed to put that way, INEC does that, effectively the ADC is in the same comatose position as the PDP. So whatever position it is that a political party has can be filtrated, and when it's infiltrated, those who control the judiciary will cause a forum sharp judgment to be pronounced, and then the party will simply lose recognition as none of its executives will be recognized. That happened to PDP, but after Mr. Wike did his own convention, INEC quickly recognized Mr. Wike's faction. So that it is, INEC is not independent. No. INEC is now being used as.
Before we go back to PDP, you're saying that the secular or the statement about the due recognition ABC was actually signed under compulsion by the INEC chairman. How do we know about this? How are we sure of this?
Well, this is what has been circulating in the grapevine, and that is what we have today in Abuja in the grapevine.
Wow.
And the chairman saying that this is not what he wants, that he was forced. So whatever it is, that's been the reason for the reactions from the opposition that is like the only opposition party available now has also had life removed from it. What this means is right now there are no opposition parties to challenge the president if the election were to be held next week.
Okay, sir, but you said something about UK's own, and it's important we take you on that before I go back to what's going on. So, why do you think INEC was so quick not to recognize the Ibadan Convention, but they are very quick to recognize the UK's convention? What's happened? What's be the difference between the two conventions? Why INEC recognize that?
It is simply, in a nutshell, INEC has now become a parastatal under the APC party. INEC is no more an independent national institution. When you see these things are consequences of state capture, I think we should understand these things in a holistic sense. The state is captured, the state is captured. President Tinubu is not comfortable at electoral challenges, and he's told you that. So they are simply putting everything in place to make sure nobody challenges President Tinubu during the next election. That's what Mr. Wike and, of course, strengthened by the president are doing. Wike wouldn't be able to do the things he does without the support of the president. And that's what it is.
All right, see why don't you is it you or comparable facts? Comparable facts, let me take your thoughts quickly.
Okay. Yeah, how you doing, Dr. Katch?
I'm fair, thank you.
Nice to see you. Yeah, MC has stolen my question, but let me elaborate on that. My understanding, Dr. Katch, if I'm wrong, you correct me. I understand that Nasru Gombe resigned on July the 17th, and INEC got the letter from him in August. So why is that why is that a confusion to them? I think, my own opinion, I think this present INEC led by Tinubu Kingsmen, is worse than the Yakubu, INEC. This is exactly what they have become a patron. They have become a patron of the executive, and it's going to be worse than what we had before. I mean, that's what I'm seeing right now. But anyway, not to go into the minutia of the whole thing, because MC has already got the question. So, how do you see how do you see ADC going forward? Being that Pampaso, has joined them and the momentum is building among it, around ADC. Can Tinubu be able to truncate them? Because this is what he's doing right now, penetrating each of the party, trying to make them a factional party so that he can rule. And because of his ruling, there's nothing democratic about Tinubu. Let's call it what it is. He's not Jonathan. They always say that he's not Jonathan. The difference between him and Jonathan is that if Jonathan is behaving the way he's behaving right now, APC wouldn't have come into ruling. So that's the difference between Tinubu and Jonathan. Even at all, people may say that he's soft and everything, but he's not Tinubu. Tinubu, Tinubu is just pretended a Miloko, to be a Democrat. There's nothing democratic about Tinubu. He's practicing autocracy. That's exactly the way I'm seeing it. But anyway, let me go straight to my question. How do you see ADC can be able to survive this? Because it seems like they have the momentum. And to end my question, I saw an APC chieftaincy that came on Channel TV the other day, and he was blaming APC what they are doing. He said they should have approached Pankoso before everything happened, because he said a lot of the governors in the north, are working for ADC secretly. They are not with Tinubu. So can you elaborate from what you see, within the Nigerian political circle? Thank you, sir.
The man who was talking about Kwankwaso, he was saying that it was a wrong calculation for the president not to have closed the deal talking to Kwankwaso when Kwankwaso was available in the market. Well, Tinubu has not been able to do business with a lot of politicians, probably because of his triumphalism. And I think that has not allowed him to understand the truth. It's also as a consequence of maybe he does have other plans. Maybe he knows that he can probably just abandon politicking and just use Abacha style to grab power. Of course, you know. So for me, it's what I would say. Yes, the gentlemen cried that they lost Kwankwaso, and that's a problem for them. Well, it's also possible that he might be thinking in a different line from Tinubu. Tinubu might have other strategies. Tinubu may not be thinking of winning through election. He may just want to write the results and say, go to court. I have to pay it from there. So that's what it is. It has become what it is, and I don't think it's time for the parties to start saying what they should have gotten, they didn't get. Yes, you're right. A lot of them in the north think that Tinubu does not plan on winning the north. He just wants to seize the north. Same way them, APC, seize the country and then gave the presidency to Tinubu. They know what he knows, and that's why they are very uncomfortable with him.
Hi, Benjamin, you want to jump in there very quickly?
Yeah, good evening, Precious. Good evening, Doctor. Good evening, viewers. Good evening, Mop, and my other brother there. Yes, Precious, you remember that I did say that there's going to be an implosion in APC, and I think Doctor just referred to it. And what we're seeing is just the beginning of that implosion. And we wait to see what's going to happen. But I disagree with Doctor when he talked about faction in ADC. Because the issue that we have is not that of factionalization in ADC. Maybe Kachiku went to court, he lost his case. The current issue that we have, which has to do with nephew Balagambo, is actually a case of who is the rightful head leader of the ADC. And it's not a question of faction. And I think that, just as the doctor has said, it's quite clear that what we see here is the voice of Esau and the hand of Jacob. See how he said. It's very, very clear that Amo is compromised. That's the INEC chairman. Very, very compromised. Whether he was instigated, whether he was forced to do what he did, is neither here nor there. I mean, he is the head of INEC, and he must take responsibility. He has the option to resign or to say, no, I'm not going to go ahead with this nonsense. So he's responsible for the actions that he has taken. The interpretation, if you had any problem, if INEC, even as a sign, if you had a problem or issues with the interpretation of what status quo antebellum means, he should have gone to court to seek that interpretation. But he didn't do it. What he did was to totally decapitate the leadership of ADC. So you have two status quo. It's either you accept David Mark as the head, or the one before him, who is Ralph Mosu. Other than that, there's no other leadership. So to totally ignore David Mark and also ignore Ralph Mosu, it's like you did an interim deregistration of ADC, because he went ahead to say that they will not do business with ADC. They will not recognize ADC. Whatever ADC does is inconsequential. So in other words, if it takes between now and whatever to resolve this case in court, what the INEC has done is to totally emasculate opposition, the most viable opposition that we have had. And that is wrong. That is being partisan. Because what the court tried to do, the appeal court tried to do, what it tried to do was to restore peace, to say, let the status quo remain. Let there be order. That's the intentment of that declaration, that judgment, that the status quo antebellum should remain. So what INEC did was criminal. It's totally nauseous. It's not in tandem with the decision of the court, and I think that's why you see Honorable Aliyu, very, very jittery and saying that they don't support, what the INEC chairman has done. So I think, and I support what ADC has done. In the following days, I'm hoping to see some action apart from just mere verbalization of, what speaking against what INEC has done. I know they are going to court, but I'm also expecting that there will be very, very strong action against INEC. They have called for Amu to resign and his leadership to resign. But I'm expecting that there'll be very, very strong action against INEC and against APC for all the, machinations they have done, all the evil that they have done to emasculate the position. That's what I think. And I think they're very, very jittery. They don't want election to take place. I agree with Dr. Katch. But that cannot happen because Tinubu is extremely afraid of going for a free and fair election. Because he knows if he does that, he's going to lose. The North, he has lost the North. And then I can bet you that even the South that he's counting on, the Southeast is not going to vote for him. He's not going to vote for him. All those people, all those governors that are with him, and I think they're going to vote for him. When it comes to brass tacks, I can tell you that they are not going to get the vote of the people. So they know what they're doing. They know, and I think that there are people in ADC who understand this game along too, because they were part of those people who backed Tinubu to take away Jonathan. So I am sure that this is not going to be the end. I'm sure that APC has entered one chance by this nonsense that they have done, and we have not seen the end of it. That's what I think is going to happen. Thank you.
So I mean, a lot of things there where they happen. We never know how far this will go. But Dr. Katch, if the ADC goes on with their primaries just like they're going on and all that, and INEC refuses to recognize it, what's in that one doing?
They will go to court
and the
try
court
to compel.
People they talk about court that they bought and control, and the court refuses to. Perhaps the court even postpone the matter or even say na lie. But before now, I thought that issues about leadership of party, the party had the court had said they were internal party affairs.
Yes. There's a ruling by the Supreme Court that this is an internal party affair, and that those are one of the issues. It's an internal party affair. So this is just meddlesomeness. The Supreme Court had made a ruling on that. So that's another side to the story here. But the point is that even the judge, this appeal court, has asked for a facilitated hearing of the present issue. So we're expecting that these issues will be facilitated. But if APC plays the same game they have been playing, and they delay so that ADC will not be able to file, do whatever is required within the time frame allowed, then I think hell is going to get loose. I don't want to sound negative, but if APC continues and does not allow opposition to participate in the election, if there's going to be one, then you're going to see is the nation is going to be on fire. You're going to see assassinations, you're going to see killings, because these people.
I don't agree with you. Dr. Katch, do you think that we have the capacity to do that in Nigeria? I don't agree. I don't want to believe T.Y.
No, you see what it is,
we don't have the capacity.
T.Y. is angry, like we've been angry for a long time. Did you see? Being angry is not enough. We need to organize. When you talk about killings and all, those things are not organized.
I bet where did they shoot from?
Of course.
Around the shooting.
Yes, they're just crazy people. I told you, it's lawless area. It's in Abuja, just on the road, and here on and American Christian people are shooting. It's crazy. I don't know what that is, but I pray it is. It has to do with the car exhaust not gone. That's what we call it.
Okay, sir. So, I mean, reacting to T.Y. Danjuma, sir.
I
We are
will
looking
tell
for
him that
revolution or to
with
revolt.
time, all that will calm down. The more they go to court, the more likely they might get rejection from the court. And courts don't end quickly. If you go to court, it will take so long for courts to make pronouncements. The courts can even adjourn it so long that you wouldn't have time for that party to go have its peaceful convention. I think the party may just go to convention, ignoring INEC. But yeah, whatever it is, we have seen that problem which we created. People were, but that's not the end of it. There are other parties that could be used as platforms. You see, it's not that you wouldn't have parties that can be used. They can run to NDC, Senator Dixon's newly registered party. But you see, you can undermine the opposition. But you will never make Nigeria one party state. It's not possible. We have ways. We can leave the ADC, claim that yes, it was troubled, and then find a neutral place. We'll have the time. It's possible. We can put on a new path. Whether you like it or not, you probably may simply say what you think you've seen. Now we are saying we thought the executive all handed over and resigned. Nafi is now saying no, that the papers we're seeing are not true, that he did not resign. Well, it's against others who oppose their position. But we can understand that the ruling party is very uncomfortable with competition at the election. And that's the reason for this current crisis. But I'm sure we'll get out of this some way, somehow, going forward. I'm not very worried.
Are we going to get out of this some way, somehow? Well, thank you, T.Y. Danjuma. Thank you. Is that all your question? MC, is that all your question?
Yeah, just a quick one, yeah, because for me, yeah, like there's a song I normally listen to every day. If you remember the 2023 of the Obedient song, which says, "Me, I no want Olodo." You understand? Make we vote for person who go lead us well. But unfortunately, like he said, because I agree with Dr. Katch, the wicked people, the people that rigged that 2023 election, they went as far as they even ran the election. They went and brought Olodo to come and lead the nation. As complex as Nigeria, of different ethnic group of they went and bring an Olodo to come and preside on the affair of Nigerians. This is pure wickedness because the evil these people have done to Nigeria is too much. Because we are talking about the terrorists that kill people all around, but the government themselves. Do you know the lives this government has ended with their policies? People are unable to feed, eat, or do a lot of things. Do you know what this government has done to the people? Because we see the physical one, which is what the terrorists do to the Nigerian people. How about the government themselves, the policies they set, which they use in punishing the people? Do anybody even talk about that at all? There are people in that country who have no food to eat, who sleep on the street. I was watching a video the other day. I was about to. I got so emotional. People sleeping under the train track. They are on drugs. They don't even know themselves. They don't even know what they are doing. In Nigeria, even in the Lagos, the so-called Lagos, he said he is the king of. That same. They were sleeping under the train track. They are on drugs. They don't even know what they are doing. Women, girls, boys. That's why we keep saying Nigeria should wake up. Enough is enough of this wickedness.
pass it on.
It's all right. That's what I have to say because this whole thing, because see these things alone, I don't know. Because we just have to do something. We need to, because we need to wake up. That country needs a total reset and drive these evil people out.
How do we do that? Thank you. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Elisa. Appreciate you. Thank you. Dr. Katch, if you have a final word, what would that be? Thank you, sir.
It will be do not lose hope. Just enjoy the interesting acrobatics. We are very close to the end of this nonsense. We've been shouting. I've been on this for 12 years. Finally, the world is listening. Finally, more Nigerians are now waking up to it. So it makes me happy. We'll be out of this very, very soon. I'm seeing what I've not seen before. You know, we have now compounded frustrations everywhere, and that's when citizens will come out and will do something meaningful to end this one step forward, 20 steps backward. That's what the country is doing. It's sad, very, very sad. Beautiful country with great prospects to be something great, but held down because of the British mess of lumping the Fulani upon us. And so they refuse to allow our country to move forward. Undermine our progress with military decrees and all that nonsense. Won't allow our democracy because they don't have the numbers to maintain their positions of entitlement. Now that Nigerians are waking up, it's a good thing. Never mind this current squabbles. We'll get out there. I'm a very optimistic person, and I know we've finally got into the head. We'll resolve this problem in no time. We shall resolve it. We shall resolve it.
Your
And I'm very
optimism,
optimistic.
your
Huh?
optimism is second to none. I wish I have that kind of optimism, but I appreciate you.
Because I understand it. I understand the problem. That's why I am optimistic. It's very simple. People, like me, most of us in the South were so ignorant of the country. We used to blame everything that happened on the Hausa, but it's not in the Hausa. The Hausa suffered the most in the hands of the Fulani. It's now Nigerians know that the problem we've had since is the Fulani. It's simple.
Hmm.
No one else.
So
It's
the
the
awareness,
Fulani.
there is more awareness now.
Exactly. The awareness is the reason I'm happy. Look at even the Fulani fighting against people who are trying to sensitize others about the killings. They don't want the killings mentioned. They don't even want us to say a thing about the killings. Don't want the world to say a thing about the killings. They are in denial about the killings. Don't you understand that? Even the president is afraid of doing anything about the killings. That's why we are happy the Americans are here. Soon these things will clear. I want to advise everybody to be calm. Help is here at last. What I can see in front of me is twinkles of a morning after a very, very long period of darkness. Nigeria will soon be out of the woods because of the current level of awareness the country has. The Fulani are the problem. The Fulani are the problem, nothing else. Nothing else.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Dr. Katch. You know, it's always a pleasure to have you share issues with us and give us your insights on things that's happening on in our country. You know, you don't talk, I'm saying you don't do for this business a long time ago. So that means you don't see results. That means your efforts will yield fruits. And I appreciate you for being steadfast and consistent with this thing we do. I appreciate you, so thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me. I
Thank
also
you.
thank your audience and beg them, don't despair.
Hmm.
Despair is not an option. Don't despair. We're
Thank
very
you.
close to there.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Good night and God bless you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, Nigerians, but before I let you go, you know, go good make another on the things we they happen for inside the country, considering that I may not be able to give you bring you quick updates. So let me just run you through some of the headlines for Nigeria and some of the conversations really going for Nigeria today, or some things we don't happen for inside our country today, because I can't go live again. So I just looking through some of the dailies: ADC crisis, PRP woos Atiku Obi Konkoso, others to rescue Nigeria. PRP in another party, they call on the whole ADC machine. May them come over to PRP to rescue Nigeria. May the lead Tinubu make a chop ADC. That's what they say. Now that's in PRP. Now you know will come bring problem inside. That's the question. Okay, let's see other issues. He doesn't merit a response. Macron slams Trump over marriage jibe. Hey, Trump, sha. Okay, oh. Police detain 4 over military uniform in Abia. Tinubu with some victims of Angwarukuba massacre. Africa must spend wisely, not just raise revenue. Revenue. You didn't talk. Meanwhile, your minister for finance, they talk say we must stop over dependence and reliance on external borrowing. Say it did disturb us well. See, there's a lot I do not understand about us borrowing and borrowing, because how can Nigeria be generating the most revenue when we don't ever generate? We have generated the most revenue in the history of this democracy. They do very well now for revenue generation. Almost all the revenue generating agencies, ministries, and parastatals are doing very well. Tax day optimal, and they were still borrowing the most. I don't understand. We just borrowed 6 billion US dollars. 6 billion US dollars. And now our Minister of Finance, they say we must stop reliance on external borrowing. Okay, now. NNPP sympathizes with ADC, blames crisis on Kwankwaso. NNPP say, now Kwankwaso, now you don't make their party don't enter trouble. Say you don't carry wahala enter there. Why are you guys like this? Corruption. Federal government moves to reawaken code of conduct cultures across public service. Will it stop anything? Tinubu Chad president vowed joint anti-terror offensive. Okay, so let's see what we have there again. Okay, so let's see what we have there in other dailies. So moving on very quickly to other newspapers. ABC crisis, David Mack, Atiku Obi Konkoso, others arrive at Abuja. David Mack's speech, mixed speech on INEC, the recognition of ADC leadership, and that there was quite an extensive speech. I took the bull by the horn. Gumi defends only way to end insecurity, to negotiate. Didn't take the bull by the horn. Oh wow. All right. Chaos averted as security presence prevented rival protests at INEC headquarters. I hear that there were some people who came to protest against the David Mack-led ADC for inside INEC. Now, protest and counter protest. I God, this Nigeria no will me. Okay, APC blames ADC for internal crisis, dismisses conspiracy claims. And then Yobe Senator Bumai denies defection rumors. 2027, you cannot impose single candidacy on Nigerians. Konkoso to INEC amid ADC crisis. INEC was part of process that brought David Mack, ex-ADC chairman also. So also they say, wait, INEC gonna be part of the process. So what exactly are you talking about now? Well, it's a lot of drama. God told me his mighty hands are upon Tinubu. Umahe. Hi! Sorry, professor by experience prophets. Professor by experience deacon prophets. Umahe don't see vision for Tinubu. Say God tell him. Say get hand inside Tinubu matter. Say mighty hand on top of. Wow. Black Hat Governor Adeleke summons IBEDC assures rainstorm victims of support. Let's see what we have there. I see your pain. Tinubu consoles mother of boy killed in Palm Sunday attack. Angels. That's that woman. I don't fit imagine the trauma. I just pray that woman survives this, because I can't imagine the trauma she's going through. Hey, cool. Now, wow. Okay, Pharaoh of Nigeria. He didn't enter Jos, didn't visit victims. Nigeria social media users blast President Bola Tinubu over airport stop after deadly Plateau attack. Say people die for Plateau State. You still not reach there, be Pharaoh. For Nigerians, why are you doing this to our president now? Well, Tinubu APC have lost core north to opposition after Konkoso's defection. APC chieftain Alman Hassan said, like he said that before, INEC has become irredeemably partisan, and Mokito must be sacked. David Mack exposed electoral body and their plot to make Tinubu only 2027 option. And then let's see other stories that we have. I just thought to bring you an update, so I will give on all the updates. Empathetic president will visit terror scenes, console victims, not summon them to town hall. Pisaya Shoyimbo and others blast Tinubu over lifeless speeches to just attack survivors. And then Bauchi Governor Bala Mohammed blasts Tinubu's led APC government for weaponizing APC to coax opposition defection. Okay, all right. Genocide. He didn't leave the airports, affected areas, or hospitals to visit injured victims. Rather, flew back from the airports. Nigerian social media users blast Bola Tinubu for careless act after terrorist killings in just Plateau State. We deserve better. Nigerian social media users, blast Tinubu's fly in, fly out approach to Plateau victims. And some other issues here. You have no lights. I told you that already. Why why fear free and fair elections if you are confident in your performance? ADCD asking about that question. I think I don't play that to you. Meanwhile, Peter B said Tinubu's government is the worst in Nigeria's history. And so he talked and so he lament. Tinubu's economic reality reflected as wage gap widens across Africa. Lagos ranks last with just 12 billion US dollars monthly, while South Africa tops at one at what's that price at 1,639 again. So that's quite a lot. Okay, 1,639. I'll get back to that conversation, but let me quickly play you what Peter V said that people were
The
talking
government we have today, as it said, and continue, is the worst ever in our dear country, Nigeria. Today, there's no governance in Nigeria. The legislative arm is at its worst. The judiciary is no longer hope of the weak or the poor. We all know insecurity, killings, and abductions is worse than even countries at war. Just in the past 1 week, 34 in Kebbi, Wednesday, Thursday, 50 in Zamfara on Friday, and today, even while we're speaking, today, over 20 already in Adamawa.
All right, so that's what Tinubu said. As I was telling you that headline, it says Tinubu's economic reality reflected as wage gap widens across Africa. Lagos ranks last with just $128 monthly, while South Africa tops at $1,639 monthly. You need to see the gap. $1,639 to $128 after Naguson and the giant of Africa. There's some things in Nigeria or some news about Nigeria that really, really infuriates you. General Abacha once presumed face of oppression will be remembered as more democratic and more respectful of human rights than so-called champion of activism, Tinubu. That's so Peter Obi and say he talked to. What some other issues there? But let's see all the issues that we have very quickly. Insurgents Tinubu orders installation of 5,000 surveillance. Trump frees Pamela Mundi. Governors are serious about restructuring will misuse state police. That's what they talk. Navy intercepts 15,000 liters of stolen fuel in River State. Tinubu arrives Lagos for Easter project inauguration after Plateau visit. Tinubu is responsible for widespread violence in Nigeria. Peter Obi talked that one. Balamis 57 property proceeds of graft should be forfeited to FG EFCC 90 tell court. And FG inaugurates National Food Bank program. Insurgents Tinubu orders installation. I think I told you this already. But let's see other issues very, very quickly. So there was a nurse that trended over the weekend because she exposed how light no day, oxygen no day, water no day for inside Enugu hospital. Guess what? She's been suspended. You see, that's the thing with Nigeria. Once you raise alarm about the ill of waiting to go on for Nigeria, you're suspended. I don't know. Why they expect us to just make. I thought the Enugu state governor, they said he was doing well. Why was she suspended? A nurse suspended Student nurse suspended for viral video exposing Enugu General Hospital without light, water, and oxygen. U.S. lawmaker urges Secretary Rubio to impose sanctions on Nigeria over Christian genocide. ICC chief prosecutor who issued Netanyahu arrest warrant faces sex misconduct proceedings. Hmm. Okay, over 100 CSOs petitioned Tinubu UN to review Jimo Ibrahim's diplomatic appointment over financial liabilities others. Mhm. Okay, and then Olubadan Palace denies rift with Oyo Governor Makinde. And then Nigeria telecom engineer under Huawei SBC cry out over slave-like conditions and 140,000 naira salary. So they said the telecom engineers complained, said the Huawei telecommunications company treat them like slaves, and they pay them very paltry amounts of money. Think tank powered. Okay, let's see. Niger Delta stakeholders asked people to set up committee on peace building, conflict resolution. And Ghana announces visa-free entry for all Africans starting May 25. This sounds good. Atiku Lambas Tinubu over Plateau visits that didn't go beyond airports condemns transporting of grieving citizens. Chai. Adamawa residents risk lives to scoop fuel from overturned tanker amid hunger hardship. Oh boy, Nigeria. Tinubu orders, I think I said this already. APC backs INEX action against David Max Aribishola, calls ADC desperate power hungry. You people are not desperate about hungry. I mean, you people, you're not wicked and desperate about hungry. Eh, mm, okay. All right. Let's see what we have here again in the news very quickly. NBA secures release of lawyer remanded over alleged contempt of Port Harcourt High Court. Okay. And the Southeast presidency quests in 2027 is a dead end. Omahe declares insisting the local mandate will expire in 2031. ADC demands INEC chairman's immediate sack. I already told you that. And of course, Tinubu Chad Debbie agree on border approach to combat terrorism in Lake Chad Basin and Lake Chad region. Well, all of these and more issues like this we get today, or things really happen for news today. I just thought to quickly bring you up to speed with those. Kindly like, share, and subscribe to this platform if you've not done so. I love you guys and I appreciate you. Big deal. Please kindly like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you again tomorrow evening, God willing. But at the meantime, please make sure you protect your mental health. Don't let Nigeria problem around you. I love you. Good night. God bless you. Good night.